Hello everyone, welcome to Wildcard Wednesday. Today we've got yet again another different project, different than I usually do anyway. So a few days ago I bought a very old tablecloth. Now this is supposed to have holes in it here, but when you get further to the inside you can see it's pretty sheer. It's worn very much, and so I got to thinking, what can I make from that? So what I did, let me do it this way. This is a corner of that tablecloth that I adhered some freezer paper to the back side of it. Put just a little ribbon, not ribbon but lace underneath to decorate it, and just made a little envelope so that it has a paper interior like so, and but it has this cloth exterior, and it just, okay, it could have more decoration, but I was pleased with it so far, and immediately my idea went from this to, I have tons of old handkerchiefs. I collect handkerchiefs, napkins, and other linens. So I had a few that I bought a while back that I hadn't actually put in my little drawer yet. And so I took out this one. It was on top and it had lots of holes. So all I did with it, there's nothing glued or sewn or anything. I just took a piece of lace about 15, 18 inches, and just wove it through two holes here that would be the bottom flap, and then a hole on each side that would be the side flaps, and tied it in this little decorative kind of bow, and there's the flap. And so I'm like, okay, I need to make some of these. Because they're just so pretty, and can be, anything. So a few minutes ago, I went to another one. Now I have sprayed this with starch and ironed it, but I've not done anything else to it. But this gives you an idea of what it looked like, and it was folded the other way, so I ironed all those creases out and put in some new creases. Now I'm not sure yet. This does have little bitty holes, so I can put some little bitty ribbon. I don't want to glue it or sew it. But I just did that as just the next experiment. And then I have this handkerchief that I'm going to do on camera. Just to make one, and then I'm also going to cut another piece of the tablecloth and make another envelope with the freezer paper adhered to it. So that's going to be the project for this evening, is an envelope made from an authentic vintage lady's handkerchief, and one cut from an old piece of tablecloth that it could be any material. But I'm choosing the tablecloth because I like that look, but you could have any cotton, linen, anything really that the freezer paper will stick to. So let me clear me a workspace. I will be back shortly. Okay. My plan is to cut out a square roughly in this area, but before I do that I want to just give it a squirt with the spray starch and iron it as smooth and flat as possible. So I'm going to do that. I've moved my iron over here. So this is the famous iron. What I'm always ironing stuff with. Now this, let me look and see something real quick. Okay, I iron on an old rip sheet, and then underneath the old rip sheet I have other piece of material that I iron on at my workstation to the left of me. And so the spots that you're seeing is on the cloth underneath. That tells you again how worn this is. But this is a linen tablecloth. I'm going to give it just another squirt and get it nice and smooth right in this area. I used to do this for a living a long time ago. Well, not a living. I did it for a job. I worked at an inn that their tablecloths and napkins were all made of linen and had to be ironed. And there was me and two other, a woman and her daughter. And the three of us took care of all the linens in this inn. The sheets, towel, all that sort of stuff. But it was particularly our job to make sure all the tablecloths and napkins were ironed, and so they didn't like to iron. I didn't mind it. I liked it. So I did all the ironing. That was way back a long time ago, like almost 40 years. Well, about 35 years. Just saying that, it seems impossible, but okay, I'm going to cut right down through here just enough so I can get my arm. I have a wall right to my right, so I can't, there we go, that should do it. Now I'm probably going to cut this down just a little bit more, maybe. I guess it depends on how straight I cut. I might actually be cutting this a little bigger than I want, but not much. And I'm using the pinking shears just to keep things from, being so, nothing coming unraveled. At least not too much. And let's go right across through here. Okay, now let me move all of this out of the way. And I'm going to have to leave that right there. Okay, now what I want to do is I do need to square it up a little bit. So 7.5 by 8, but this is out, so let's go. That should be a little better. Went in a little too far there, but it'll be fine. Alright, so pencil, let's just do just it doesn't have to be exact, of course, but I do want it sort of squarish, otherwise it won't work. And I need to cut on the inside of that mark. Okay. Now I'll save that piece for something else. Alright, another press. That looks sort of squarish. Now, because this has the holes in it, I'm going to use this as the top flap coming down. This has more texture on it, so I'm going to say that this is the wrong side. So basically, what I did was I just folded over to get something that looked sort of equal on both sides. But because it is fabric, you can allow a little bit more leeway for it not measuring up exactly than if it were paper. So now this one, you know what I realize? I'm thinking I'm doing a handkerchief. I'm not supposed to be doing this yet. I'm supposed to be getting a piece of freezer paper. My goodness. So scratch that part. Let me get my freezer paper. I had it laying over here. I don't know what I was thinking. Jumping ahead of myself, that's what. Okay. Okay. Now, for this, I need the iron as hot as it will go, so that it will be sure and stick. I actually really like using freezer paper on the backs of napkins and that sort of thing. It gives them lots of strength, gives you a place to write. The only thing that I wish that I could find, and I don't even know if it's made or not, but I would love to find craft paper, freezer paper instead of the white freezer paper. But I don't know if that's a product or not. Okay, now this paper is sticky, so I'm just going to try to not get the edges. Just go from this top side. Test a corner. Boy, I barely missed it there. I'm going to go over it one more time. And like I've said several times over, the middle will always get done. So I always, when you're ironing, adhering things like this, always concentrate on your edges, because that's where it will peel up. It'll peel up there before it peels in the middle. Okay, I'm going to turn that off so I don't burn myself, because, you know, that's a factor for sure. Okay. Now, here we go again. We're going to even this up just a little bit and get a whole new line cut. Now, you could definitely do this with just regular scissors, but the pinking shears gives it a pretty edge, so I'm just going with that. Okay. Okay. Now I can do this, and I should have enough heat left in the iron. And I already have my little places. Now, the one thing I did do on the other one was I put it on my scoreboard and scored it a little bit. But since I already made these fold lines that are, you can still kind of see them, I'm just going to go back and use those. And then if I need to adjust it any, I will. Okay, let's press that. And another thing that you can do too is you can leave this top open if you want to fill it full of ephemera. It'd be nice to put in some fake love letters and pictures and things like that. And I actually need to go into my stash. I also collect vintage photos, and I have tons of cabinet cards and all kinds of other pictures, and this would look good to fill those up with those. Now, I'm not going to be putting the ribbon on this one, but when I did it, I just did it, I actually glued it to this side just with some fabric glue. I did not cross over and come down, and I did not glue it here because I didn't want it to accidentally get stuck here, so I just put a little line through here so that an edge stuck over, and a line here, closed it down. The other thing I did do was trim this across like that. And then on the top, I just glued it around this outside. I did make this curve. It took it overnight to dry. I put a piece of parchment paper over it, and then my two cast iron heavy irons, and I let that sit overnight. But for this particular project, I'm just going to go straight to the fabric glue and glue it down, because I got a couple other things that I want to do as well. So we're just going to press that down. And just look down in there and make sure that no glue is seeping out. And I still got a little heat in here. Now let's, and I probably actually need a little bit more glue than I put down along this side. I didn't realize how wide that was. Okay, there we go. I'm going to turn the iron back on about 3. Let it sit there for a minute while I do this part. Okay, that should be fine. Got it laying down away from me and I can hardly see it. Okay. that's not bad. That's not bad for just a cute little envelope made from parchment paper and an old piece of a tablecloth. Okay, so the next one we're going to do is this little thing. And what I have decided that I think will work on handkerchiefs or other pieces of fabric that you don't want to sew or glue, or they don't have a hole for you to fish a ribbon through. I think what I'm going to try is, I'm going to put that like that, so that these three layers are kind of all right together. That's just slightly crossed over here. That one's over it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a button, and I'm going to sew a little button on all the way through these three layers. But I did not bring any over here, so let me go find some buttons that will work with this, and I'll be right back. Okay. I'm going to move that iron out of the way because it's casting a little bit of a shadow over here. So this jar has all of my cream white and sort of beige-ish buttons in it. And then this jar has all shell and abalone and buttons like that. Something a little fancier. Believe it or not, these were buttons off of something. Okay, so I would rather put something. Look at that. I'm liking that. It's not. Maybe. I mean, I'm not going to make it a button on this side. But I like that that don't really fit. That's too country, and this is a little bit elegant. So I don't know. I'm liking that. It kind of is whatever. It's definitely bluish, but it is a little big. So this one might not be too bad, but it might be too shiny. Okay. So let me just look real quick in this jar and see what we've got. That's way too shiny. I could do a little pearl button like that, which would probably be the prettiest of all. Let's see if I have another one here that does not have a metal shank on it. No, that's the same one. I'm kind of thinking I'm going to go with that little pearl button. I like it the best. So I brought my needle threaders over here, but I got it the first shot, so yay. Let me put these back in here before I go any further, because if I accidentally pull this piece of cloth while I'm moving around, they're all going in the floor. Okay, so we are going to start here without going through all the layers. Ow! and without poking myself. My goodness, that hurt. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Do you know how long it's been since I've sewed on a button? My goodness. A long time. And shank buttons are or can be, not are, but can be a little difficult sometimes. But the key is to sew or put your needle in as close to that bottom shank as possible, going in and out. And also to create a layer all the way across the bottom of it as much as possible. If that makes any sense whatsoever. Okay. I'm going to stop there. I'm going to bring my needle back into the center between the first layer and the second layer. And go under my button without catching the cloth. And make me a couple of knots. So let's do that a couple of times. This needle wants to poke everything, including my fingers again. Okay. Alright. And then I need some little bitty tiny sharp scissors. Okay. Okay, now that can lay down. Now if at some point in time I want to create a little handmade buttonhole here, I can. But for now, this is just a little decorative piece without harming the handkerchief any. That's just a little button there. And actually, what I could do is put, oh, I know what I'll do. Give me 1 second. I have drawers with all kinds of stuff. I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's safety pins and more safety pins. And I've got black ones, white ones, silver ones. My other, one of my other little drawers has all the bronzy type ones in. I could have swore. Oh, well, here's one, but that's not what I want. Oh, while I'm in here, I'll have something I want to ask a question about here in a minute, but let me... I was hoping I had some little bitty ones, but I don't think I have any except for that bronze one. And I don't want to put it on. I do have some little bitty black ones, but I don't want to put that on either. Wait, here's some. Let's see what's in here. They're a little bit dirty. But is this one smaller? No, but it looks, yeah, it goes better, don't it? Okay. Alright, well that's that mystery solved. Let's see if it'll actually open. Okay, so what I'm going to do is attempt to go through that and that layer. Nope, that didn't work. I went too far. Let's do it this way. Okay, I'm going to leave that as is, but I should have put it up closer. That button's way up there, ain't it? I should have put it up a little closer, but I'm not going to fiddle with it anymore here. But this gives you the idea of an old safety pin will work just as well. Okay, so let me move this real quick and we'll get on to the next piece. This is what I was going to show you. So I watched a video. This is a complete side point. Don't have anything to do with the project, but it could be a future one if you're interested. So I was watching a video on making little miniature hangers. This was a paper clip. Well, actually both of these were paper clips. This one, for some reason, had lost all of its silver stuff. But I made both of these using little jewelry tools. If you'd be interested in seeing a video where I make some and kind of showing you how, just let me know in the comments and I'll put that on the schedule in the near future. They work really well for tags and, you know, paper clothes, things like that. Other decorative stuff that you might want to put in a journal. Okay, so we're back to this one, and I got some of this little skinny ribbon. It's kind of a very, very light pink, almost a cream color, with a little, like, pink accent, I suppose. And my goal is to fish it through here, if possible. I think it's going to have to go through here, and just create a tie closure similar to what I showed you on this one. So in here, let's go in here. In here. Let's pull me a little extra through here. Okay, and then back through here. I don't have any. Well, I do have these holes up here, but we'll see. If this don't work, I'll go back and put them through those holes. Okay, let's cut off a little. That might be way, way too much. Okay. Oh, I need more, don't I? Okay. And if I could, you know, if I'd have thought I could have put that one right through there. Okay, I'm going to undo this. I think I have figured this part out anyway. So I'm going to go, let's see how I'm going to do this. I'm going to go in through that side, back up, through this side, okay, and then when it's folded down, it can, it's through all the layers. Hope that makes sense. Alright, now, and then back again through here. If I can get my fingers to work. Okay. And then back up through this hole right here. Okay, now let's get everything laid down so that it's all, this is a little off somehow. There we go. Now, very gently, we're going to create a little bow here. Or not. I think I'll just go ahead and tie it and then press it, and it will lay down. When I pull the slack out. Yeah. Okay. I would like for it to be this way. There we go. I need to pull that out a little bit. Okay. And then... Okay. So what do you think of that? That's a little different, but look how pretty that would be in a journal. It could be, you could put all kinds of stuff in it. You could even fold it up if you wanted to put it in with stuff in it, depending on what it was. Before you, if you wanted to sew it in, then before you tied it, then you could sew it along here to be a pocket, like a full page pocket in a journal. So these have been the projects. This one, the flap wants to come up a little. But there you go. So let me move all my stuff around and we'll come back and look at all of them. Okay, well, we've actually got quite a good selection here. I have to say though, my favorite is this one altogether. My absolute favorite is this one. And these two are like my close second. This one had a little bit of staining on it, unfortunately, but it's good for what it is. This one, the glue's still slightly damp, but it will be fine by morning, if not before. This one, I really like it. I like the delicacy of it. And this one does have a delicacy, but not quite the same as that one. And I like this one as well for the same reasons. Now this one has some staining, but what I'm going to be doing now is looking through all of my old handkerchiefs. These are just a few that I bought probably back in the fall and had not. I probably ought to put them over here where you could see them maybe. I bought these. I think they were like $1.50 each, and so I pulled these out of the drawer where I just had stashed them when I was emptying the bag they came in. And then there's this one that it's still sealed. I don't know what this will end up going into a journal sometime or other. But it's very gray compared to these. But anyway, I'll be looking at some of the rest that I have to see. Like this one would make a beautiful one, and this one would. Actually, they all could. But at any rate, this is the project for Wildcard Wednesday. So I hope you enjoyed it. So if you have any linens or napkins, or and when I say napkins, I mean fabric napkins, anything that you want to make a fabric envelope from, then take you some freezer paper and back it, and see what you can make out of it. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you with another project very soon.